important, okay? And tell your friends and your family and make sure that you make it a personal thing. I don't mean just post on Facebook, meaning take a responsibility that 10, 20 people of my family, I'm going to make sure they come. Whatever happens, I'm going to make sure they come. Like as if it was my wedding or whatever. And I'm going to do their best. If they try to say I'm not coming or I'm not free, no, I'm going to take personal responsibility. I'm going to bring 20 people, each as individuals. Just take it as a target. It's reward for you, it's da'wah, and it's the support of the group as well. So I'd appreciate that, folks, from myself and on behalf of Live Deen. They didn't tell me to do that. Or he did, he brought me the paper, but I was going to do it anyway. Sah? You saw me start, isn't it? Then he gave me the paper, sah? And then he changed the dates as well. Thank you very much for the support. Then he tried to sabotage my thingy with some voice at the back. Right, anyway. We are now done. There will be a closing statement. But we're now going to go and pray Dhuhr in the masjid. No masjid women? That's the problem. You see, put me in power and I'll deal with that. But us will go pray at least. But if there are any questions that people have, then this is a free floor now to ask any confusion, any issues that are related to the class as best as possible. Then I'll take a couple. But I don't want anyone to feel obliged to stay because I know that you've stayed on longer. I appreciate that. We did start later, though, be fair. Okay? And I had to cram so much. It's a miracle that it's done. Alhamdulillah. We'll take one and then two. Anyone, sisters, you get yourselves ready. Yep. Yes. No, I don't think this is linked to that. Really good question. The brother said that if the Prophet ﷺ was given the choice to be the Abd Rasul or Malik Nabi, how does that fit in with the fact that the Prophet ﷺ was never given two choices except that he chose the easier one of them? That's a legal statement that came later in fiqh. This is something to do with himself and the legacy that's going to be created in terms of the lines of the Prophet. In actual fact, he also justified his choice afterwards as well in one version of the hadith. He said that I have chosen Abdul Rasul because if I was the Malik Nabi, of course it'd have to be bigger than Sulaiman alayhi salam. And Sulaiman alayhi salam made the dua in the Quran, "Oh Allah, do not allow anyone to come after me that will have a kingdom bigger than mine." So he said, because of that, I will not go against the dua of my brother. Carry on.
Second one is that the person who said that I'll bring the throne before you blink.
Yes.
Okay, so what tool did he use? You mentioned he had the book, knowledge of the book.
Actually, the person who did bring the arsh, there's a huge controversy between the scholars of who this person is. Because of time, I cut it to I just said to you, Ibn Abbas and Asif. Some people said it was Sulaiman alayhi salam himself. Some said that it was another jinn that had the ilm of kitab. Some said it was one of the rabbis of Bani Israel. Some said it was Ahlul Ilm. So we have no idea about that detail. Okay? Yes, pass it to this brother who was there. Yeah. You guys have a microphone?
I have 6 questions. I'll just ask 2. But
dreaming.
they're going to be controversial questions.
You are dreaming. How many questions do we have this side?
Yeah.
Who put their hand up? Yeah, you will get maybe 1 or 2. Go.
Oh, I'll take 2 inshallah. My first question is, did Dawud al-Islam write a will or endorse Sulaiman al-Islam in any way or tell his raya before he died to follow or to make...
Not in any authentic hadith that I know of.
So how can we use that as an evidence to legitimize
the transfer of power
yeah.
in this manner?
Yeah.
Because the transfer of the power is the asl. We would need a hadith to say he didn't authorize it. In Sharia, the asl needs an evidence against it, not an evidence to establish it. Usul al-fiqh,
yes.
Yani from usul point of view, the asl has been established. We need to have something to go against it. When a person is preparing someone to take over all his life, and then it happens, you don't need a document to prove it when it happens and Allah speaks about it happening and Allah praising the one who took over. You need a statement from Allah to reject it. You need a statement from Dawood to reject it, not to establish it. That's basic usul.
Okay. My second question is, you said something about it being, if a lot of people are getting killed or some people are getting killed, about the sanctity of humans in general, that an act instigating that thing is void of legitimacy in
yes.
that way.
If it's not an obligatory act.
If it's not an obligatory act.
Yeah, because otherwise there will be no jihad in Islam.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
okay.
obviously, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Yes, pass this microphone here. Pass it to the sister who was asking the question. Then pass it back over there, yeah? Quickly.
You said Bilqis's reaction when she sent Sulaiman alayhi salam the wealth, when she wanted to test him if
Yes.
he was a man of values.
Yes.
But that would have been valid had he not had anything at all and then rejected.
True.
Right.
That's a fair point. But we can only deal with what we have, right?
Okay.
Just like, do you understand my response, yes?
Yeah.
If you're rich, you can't say, I wish I'm poor right now to test myself.
Yeah.
He's rich, and let's see how he deals with it. And also I want to say that even factually, maybe because I'm not rich, I don't know, but maybe even factually what you said is not correct. Because maybe it is true that the richest people are the most hungriest and stingiest of people. Maybe.
Okay. The other question is really simple. Could people like Bilqis actually see the birds and the Jannat army around him? Like, was that the way it was?
Absolutely. Absolutely, there's no doubt.
All of the army roaming around.
They were
with
not
him.
hidden. They were not hidden. And these jinn also were not hidden.
Okay.
Not all of them, but these jinn, they were in the public realm.
Okay.
Sulaiman made them subservient to the public.
Okay. I just have one last question. So you said that it's dismaying when people accuse people of being pompous, wealthy leaders of the Muslim world.
No. I'm dismayed of the Muslims making al-wala wal-bara
Right. Okay.
based upon wealth.
Okay.
So we should not hate or love a person because they are rich.
Yeah.
We should hate and love a person because of what they do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's responsibility, with their deen, with worshipping Him. That should be the basis, not wealth.
Exactly. So if you're building a huge White House, shouldn't people be upset that this money could be used to benefit
Of course,
Muslims?
if he didn't benefit Muslims, then that would be an argument. And his White House, he doesn't even live in it. It's not even his own house. This is politics. And my point is, even if he did live in it, we know what kind of man he is. And even if we didn't know what kind of man he is, how does that allow us to pass judgment upon his deen? We know what he's trying to do. He's playing the game of modern day politics, which actually we've just learned is not the game of modern day politics, but it's the game of politics from time immemorial. That the people who are in power, they are allowed to show their power, especially when it brings a benefit, as we've seen in that story. And we're hoping one day it will bring a benefit to people who, and I tell you, it has brought a benefit. People don't mess about with Turkey like they mess about with Iraq or Pakistan, or they walk all over them. You saw Donald Trump, where he says against the Muslims around the world, but he looks like a little puppy dog when he's speaking about Erdogan. I spoke to the Turkish president, and his people, when they came to arrest, what's his name, that guy in America, Fatih Gulen, yeah? Whatever, whether that's right or wrong, it doesn't matter, but there was a big issue, and they're trying to make out this is a big diplomatic incident, and we're going to punish the Turkish, whatever. A couple of weeks later, Donald Trump is like a little dog, eating out of the hand of Tayyip Erdogan. That comes from perceived power. You know what I'm saying? This is the political games of our time. Yes?
Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, just while we're doing Q&A, there's some refreshments. People can partake of those.
Okay. You heard that? I would say it is very rude though if you do that, but I'm not saying anything. Yes.
The Bismillah issue that you mentioned.
The who?
The Bismillah issue.
Basmala, by the way.
Basmala, okay.
Yeah, very important, because I just said that, Bismillah is meaning Bismillah. Bismillah Rahman Rahim is called the Basmala. That's very important from a fiqh point of view, okay? Basmala is the whole formula. Yes?
So what's the ruling on that? Are we supposed to recite it in Salah or no?
The one in...
Before the surah.
Oh, my personal opinion is that it is from the Quran, but it's not recited in the Quran. No, not recited in Salah. So it is from the Quran, it is part of the Quran, it is definitely an ayah from Surah Al-Fatiha. It is the first ayah of Surah Al-Fatiha, which is a controversial position in itself, and it is not recited in Salah. That was the position of Abu Bakr, of Umar, of Ali, Uthman. That was their fatwa. Yeah. Radiallahu anhum. Yeah.
This is a question from one of the sisters. Do the Mufassirin ever discuss, if it is important to know, why Allah chose a queen for Sulaiman alayhi salam, Sulaiman alayhi salam's story and not a king to teach the lessons apart from a woman being in power lesson?
You heard this question, everybody, yes? And to my dismay, the answer is no, they don't. And it's a major letdown. Now, in response, I will say that I understand why they didn't, because society didn't challenge them on it. It's not the same now. 1200, 1800 and 600 years ago, and even 500 years ago, all the Mufassirin, the famous ones, 600-700 years ago, they're under no pressure to try and keep women happy. And they're not under no pressure to have to respond to women who would say, hold on, you're saying I can't be a leader because the Prophet ﷺ said that people will never be successful if they give their affairs to the woman to lead them. He said that, of course, when Kisra gave his power to his daughter in Persia. And then he said that hadith, and it's in Bukhari. And throughout history, women have not cared. One, because they've not needed to care, because they've always been looked after whatever they wanted. Deen was pretty strong in the first 3-4 early centuries. You know, women teaching and doing things and whatever. Sayyidina Umar had women governors of the market, women used to take positions of administration, women muftis, teachers. No woman wanted to be a queen. And among an audience like this, you can speak about that openly, because why would the woman want to be a queen? To be a leader like that, to have to sacrifice family. You can't run the country and the world and travel around with kids and family and what's going to happen to you and the right of your husband. Remember that we can put a queen in front of the thingy, but she will never be anything other than a first lady, because her husband has authority over her. So what's the authority of the queen then? If her husband says, I want you home because I need this or I need that, so what kind of queen is that? I mean, she's not been given a fair chance to lead. And. But now, of course, and so people are happy with that, and always have been. Now, of course, there are people that are, one, responding to a lot of zulm that the Muslims fell into in the last 200-300 years. Two, a lot of shararity that's happening from people that don't care about Islam or anything and have radical feminism, which is causing all of this fitna. So now it's made the question more important, and now it's become an issue, and the Mufassirin need to deal with it. It's a very difficult issue to reconcile. Ibn Hazm, I read something from him once, that he said that it is permissible for a woman to be a ruler of a country. So there are some bits and pieces of information here and there. And my take on this, is to say, alhamdulillah, this question is above my pay grade. It requires a high level fatwa. But what I will say about the hadith that people did not understand is not the criticism of the queen or the woman, but the people. The Prophet ﷺ said, لا يفلح القوم that make tawalli of umurahum ila nisa. But the people will not be successful that put all of their affairs on the head of a woman to deal with. Meaning that they're making her the responsible person to lead them to battle, to make their hard decisions, whatever. They're the ones that are putting her in difficult ones. Not that she won't be able to make tanfiz al-hukam, because she did. She said, I don't know and I don't make a decision except that you guys are, she said that. I don't make a decision until you are with me. And they said, okay, well. So it's clear that a woman can do that even today. It's the people that are putting that pressure upon the woman. That's my personal take on it. But Allahu A'lam, you're right. Some Mufassirin need to step up and try to deal with it in a proper way.
So like in a nutshell, it would be like if she's doing it with shura, so would that...
I don't want to say that, because then what if someone says, okay, what if she has no shura? Is it haram or halal? So I don't want to put myself in that problem. It's a difficult question. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, we had.
I think we'll take one last question. That's about it.
Okay, so this...
Preconceived notions on the basis of wealth. Like rich people are arrogant, and they do not follow the deen up to the end.
Yes.
Or the fact that the Jews own the Masjid al-Aqsa, and that it was the Jabra'ins and so on and so forth.
Yes.
But the thing is, these things are happening, and people are being corrupt.
Yes.
So aren't our preconceived notions being justified?
So emotion is always going to be justified against the wrongdoers. But Muslims cannot descend to animal law. We cannot descend to base emotion. Yani, I want you to know that justice, as you just said, okay, justified, justice is a very overrated concept in Islam. Overrated. People think that as long as something is fair, then it's good. That statement has never been said in Islam or by Allah and His Messenger. Allah and His Messenger have made justice a stepping stone. Ihsan is the correct position to be in. So what I mean is that what we think is right is not what's acceptable. We have to go to a higher standard. And a higher standard, an example of a higher standard is to not paint everyone with the same brush, however dominant the stereotype might be. Because when you do that, then you fall into criminality. You will then start to attack people. That's why people justify attacking police and killing them with the anger, focus on the corrupt politician who sent this miskin. Or the Jew who did nothing in the street, who is attacked because he's the occupier of the Zionist controlled blah blah. So you're absolutely right. If something is dominant, like all the rich and the political classes are crooks, then we can say that in a general sense. But at the accurate scientific level, we must be academic, and we've got to say that that doesn't mean that the rich are like this, because the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that the poor people will enter Jannah first. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that if it wasn't for the poor people, you would not be receiving victory and your dua would not be accepted. That's very important. So our poor people are the source of our nasr. That's hadith sahih. But that doesn't mean every poor person is a good person. There are many criminals amongst poor people. So it's okay to have a general understanding, but we've got to be accurate. Guys, we're calling it there. Jazakumullah khair, my voice is gone. Thank you for coming. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Go ahead.
Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh. We'll be having namaz. Those who have wudu, please, we'll be doing jamaat here. Those who need to do wudu, there will be another jamaat going on at the masjid, so you could go over there. Please fill the feedback forms and the links there to download the workshop's notes. And once again, inshallah, we'll see you next time at the conference on the 21st of January, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.